Hi, I'm Jess, or GoJess, or Go_JG in most of the places online. I make all sorts of content. I write things, I stream video games, tabletop role-playing games, and I also co-produce Roll20's indie showcase. In that capacity, I get to work a lot making Roll20 content, specifically bringing indie content to Roll20. So I have, in the past few years, gotten to play with a lot of the tools, try out a lot of things, test a lot of the systems, build a lot of games into Roll20. Recently, when I was talking on Twitter about my next episode of Indie Showcase, playing Keepers of the Cards by Jammy. Keepers of the Cards. Check it out on itch.io. Very good game. Got to talking about the new deck system, which is just to say the new way to upload decks. It's much easier. It's been possible for a long time to upload your own personal decks into Roll20, but they've just made it even better. They've made it simpler. They've made it so you can upload entire folders. Just want to make sure everyone knows how to do that so that they can play all sorts of indie games, because honestly, you should 100% be using Roll20 to play all sorts of wonderful indie tabletop role-playing games at a safe distance with your friends online. Do it. It's great. Play more indie games. Basically, I figured I might as well show you a full rundown of my Keeper of the Cards setup, so you can see a little bit about the game, a little bit about how to do the cards, a little bit about how to put any kind of indie game onto Roll20 in case you aren't doing that already, because you should be. Go onto itch.io if you haven't already. Check out lots of wonderful indie tabletop role-playing games. Maybe you picked up the Social Justice bundle a while back that had thousands of games in it. An absolutely amazing bundle. There's a ton of great indie stuff on there, so check it out. Play it online, play it with your friends, play it at a distance. Get gaming. Do it. All right, so this is my little layout I have built for Keepers of the Cards. Some of it came directly from the game, some of it I added myself. I've actually built it so we can sort of zoom in. Over here on the left side is the actual instructions on how to play if players want that there. Easily accessible as a reference tool. And then over here we have a little playmat area, so we can just play the game very nicely and easily. One deck space is built to be like the current in-play card space. The other space I've made to be a discard pile. Then I have gone ahead and put all these decks right in very easily, very simply, very easily. So I've even put them in order, as you can see. The first set of cards, if aside from having the instructions here on play, because I like to make it as easy as possible for everyone with as many different tools as you can at any point in time, I've literally put the instructions in here. And so you can draw out a card and place it here. Of course, that's not going to get me the answers in order. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that and show you a different way to do it if you haven't already. You can recall all cards, recall all, make sure they're in here as the GM. And you can make multiple people the GM, in case you didn't know that. I can actually choose from the cards and I can pick them out one at a time. So rule number 1, there it is. So on and so forth. I can grab rule number 1, I can grab rule number 2, play it out here. And this is one of those lovely indie games where as part of the game you read the instructions together, so you can go through and pull all the cards out, or you can read it from the other spot where I put it over there, whatever works for you. There's so many different ways to do this. So that's one deck that I have built. And then as the game goes on, as the instructions will tell you, you go through the instructions, you pull a magician, you pull a creature card, you pull a prompt card, and then something special I've done here is I've made an entire deck of X cards, which is of course the X card safety tool. It is built into this game. It is built into many games. And if it isn't already built into a game, please check out safety tools. Please always use safety tools at your table to make a good, comfortable, fun story for everyone. So that's something I'll show you how you can do. That's something I just decided to do because it's something you can do very easily in the decks here. Also on the side here, you can see where I have made the decks. So actually here in the decks, already built into pretty much every Roll20 game is in fact a playing card deck. So that's something that already just exists and you can show it or hide it as you want. And that's the same thing you're going to do with all these other decks. You're going to make these decks, you add them right here, and then you show or hide them as you want. So I can hide that X card, I can show that X card. And like I said, this is the only one that I've made into an infinite draw deck. All the other decks are dependent on what the game has. So with the X card deck, though, I've made it so that there's an infinite number of cards, and it's completely anonymous who draws and plays the X card. So you literally can just draw it out and play it. You can play it to X a game story thing you don't like. You can X something, you know, that isn't for you, that you don't think fits the story, that you don't think fits your character, that you don't think really works, makes sense, or you just don't like. Anything, whatever. Exit. Safe, simple, easy. Also, if you're interested in how I built this layout, I literally just built it in Canva. This is it right here. Boom, boom, boom. Very simple, very easy. Canva is a free resource in case you don't know. This is something you can do yourself. Just jump into Canva, make any sort of game layout you want. If you've got a card based game like this one and you want to just make a draw pile, discard pile, kind of like I did. That's it. Simple, easy, easy peasy breezy. And then I have this layout here, and then I've just laid it into the actual map background layer. And then the cards and everything are on the objects and tokens layer. All right, so for the cards, as I said, there's always been kind of a card mechanic available to you in Roll20, but it has just gotten wonderfully easier. So if you have a game like this that comes with card decks, I'll actually open up and show you my file. Here's my Keeper of the Cards file. So this is kind of how the game came over on itch.io. Many games will come like this. There is a PDF of the game, and then there was a zip file of the cards. So I unzipped the zip file, and in here all the cards were actually all together. I've organized them to make it easier for myself. Some games will come with pre-organized cards, some won't, and you'll have to do that yourself, but it's honestly worth it, especially with this game. All the cards are labeled very clearly. They're all different colors and patterns, things that are noticeable. So they are literally sorted into creatures, instructions, magicians, prompts, and then I have left out separately the background. So there's the instructions background, the magician background, the creatures background, the prompts background. I've left out the final question, as that is a special card, and then I've left out the X card. So going in over here to Roll20, all I gotta do, hit that add. I'm gonna just left click this new deck, and I already have all the decks I need. So I'm just going to name this Instructions 2. And as you can see, you have options here to show deck to players. Players can draw cards. There's also the cards in deck are infinite, which is what you want to click on or off, as I did for that X card pile, which I already mentioned. That will allow for an infinite pull of those cards, and that deck only has one card because it's just for safety. It's just the safety tool of the X card. But if you do in fact use a full X, N, or O, or kind of like a green light, yellow light, red light system for your safety tools, you can draw through, shuffle, repeat. You can change to random. You can do kind of whatever you need or want with that. You can allow for choosing specific cards from deck, specifically just to the GM or GMs and players, which is what I had for the instructions cards, because I wanted the instructions to be choosable so that you could get, you know, the first instruction and the second and the third and so forth and so on. It's a good way to be able to choose if you need to pull specific cards at specific times. You can leave it so the deck is still drawable at random like a normal card deck, but that you can also look in and choose what you need if you need something. When played to tabletop, this is important depending on how you want to play. Do you want it to play face up, or do you want it to play face down? So face up means, you know, whatever info is on the card. If it's, you know, a queen, a diamond, or if it's tarot card, the fool, the tower, whatever, that would be face up, and face down would be so that the backing shows when you pull it, if you want to do a dramatic reveal, because you can of course flip the cards. So then looking at the card size, if you leave it blank, it will default to the auto sizing, which I find is usually near the size of the playing card decks. So if you have something like an indie game with prompts with a lot of writing on it, with that's a lot smaller, you might need to scale it up or scale it down to make it the right size, but you don't want to lose the ratio. So going back over to our folder of cards, opening one of my cards back up, here's in fact the X card going into the file information. I can see the dimensions right here, and you can just use those dimensions to, you know, scale it up, scale it down as you need. So when the cards are in someone's hand, you can choose what the players and the GM sees. And then down here, we are getting to where we are actually making the deck. So as I've already said several times, I know, Roll20 has always had an option to add cards, add decks. So previously there was only the add card individual card. So if you had, in like a game like this game has like, I don't know, many indie games can have like easily 100 cards or more. So this game has a lot of cards. So adding cards individually, it's not hard. It's always been very simple. It's been an easy thing to do on Roll20. It's just taken a lot of time because you had to go one by one. So now for the instructions, we can add multiple. So I'm actually going to hit add multiple. I'm going to go over here to where I made my nice clean files. I said I was doing instructions, so I'm going to grab the instructions. I'm going to grab the whole heckin' thing. I'm going to copy it over and then bam, look at this. Look at it go. Look at it load. Look at it. Look. Mwah, beautiful. Look at it loading all those cards. Look at loading all those cards. Look at how good that is. Hit create. Boom. It's your files are being processed, converting image. So through the magic of video, I'll meet you over at the end when this is done. So that was it. It took less than a minute basically to add this entire card deck of instructions. And then over here, the last thing is to add the card backing. So going back over to the folder, going where I have the instruction, I will just drop it right on there. There's the instruction artwork. Save changes, and then boom, it's all done. There it is, instructions 2. I can click it, I can look at it. There's everything we talked about, the instructions, who we're showing it to. I'm having my cards show face up. Here's all the cards we loaded. That took like a minute. Here's the backing on all the cards. There's a duplicate deck button. So for example, if you were doing tarot cards and you'd already loaded the whole thing and then you decided, oh wait, I want like my major and my minor arcana to be separated, you could duplicate it and then split it that way. That's a nice easy way. There's the delete the deck, there's save, and then there's cancel. And then over here, all I gotta do is hit show. So that's it. There it is at the bottom. I can pull out a card. Here's the natural card size it came out at. And as you can see, if I zoom in, it's about 2 vertical boxes. So, I mean, you can just zoom in on that if you wanted. Or if you're like me and you want to resize it to meet your nice graphic, you can do that. Boom, there it is. That's how it looks. Another really simple tool that you can use with all of your Roll20 games that have cards in them, you can always just click on a card and then hit Z. Boom, look at that. Just hit Z, does an instant zoom in. So here they are, all my decks that I've already pre-made. The instructions, the magicians, the creature, the prompts, the X card. And as you can see, they're laid out right here. I can hide them or I can show them, like our new little instructions 2 that we just made. Literally just hit show, there it is, hit hide, it goes away, boom. Another thing to keep in mind is if you go all the way to that top option bar again, where the collections, where the chat is and everything like that, if I go to the settings, in there is actually where I can find deck size. And so I can actually change how big or small these are on the side. So if you want to show more of them, you can make it a little bit smaller and you can see more of the decks at a time, or you can boop it all the way up and then you can have these nice big decks. However you like it. There's so much that you can do here that you can edit and modify and do yourself. So yeah, that's the basics of making card decks in Roll20. The new multiple card system is a heckin' delight. It makes the system so much easier, so much faster. I'm Jess, or Go Jess, or Go_JG in pretty much all the places online. Come hang out with me for video games and tabletop role-playing games. Check out my channel, check out the Roll20 channel. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. If there's anything else you'd like to see, comment down below. If there's anything I didn't answer, comment down below. If there's any tools that particularly helped you, comment down below. You can see there's a trend here. Please don't forget to hit that follow button and help encourage me to make more content. I'm more than happy to share all that I'm doing, and I think there's a lot of really great resources and I'm more than happy to help with them. So yeah, thank you so much. Have fun, take care, and hope to see you all soon for more games.